It was in another lifetime, it was one of toil and blood, where blackness was a virtue and the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. And if I pass this way again, you can rest assured I'll always do my best for her, on that I'll give my word. In a world of steel-eyed death and men who are fighting to be warm. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Some shelter from the storm. Not a word was spoke between us, there was little risk involved. Everything left to that point had been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it's always safe and warm. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. I was burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hail. Where I'm from, exhaustion, burned out on the trail. Hunted like a crocodile that was ravaged in the corn. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there, with silver bracelets in her hand and flowers in her hair. Walked up to me so gracefully and took my crown of thorns. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. Now there's a wall between us, something there have been lost. I took too much for granted and I got my signals crossed. Just to think it all began on an uneventful morn. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. Well, the deputy walks on hard nails and the preacher wears a mount. Nothing really matters much, it's doom alone that counts. And the one-eyed undertaker, he blows a futile horn. Come in, he said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. I've heard newborn babies wailing like a mourning dove, an old man with broken feet who was stranded without love. Do I understand your question, man? Is it hopeless and forlorn? Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. In a little hilltop village they gambled for my clothes. I bargained for salvation but they gave me a lethal dose. I offered up my innocence and got repaid with scorn. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. I'd give you shelter from the storm. Well, I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks the razor's edge, someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the clock to when God and her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm. Shelter from the storm. I'll give you shelter from the storm.